Hey guys, I'm back here again, got a quick video here for you. This one is the final video for the Echo machine here. This is the SRM 210 machine. We got this a few weeks ago, and we finally got the parts in over here this morning from FedEx. We had to replace the carb, intake gasket, fuel lines. Let me see what else we had to do to clean the tank out, a new spark plug. And we also had to clean out the exhaust port on there as well too, plus the spark arrestor screen down inside the back of the engine over here. Now the machine's running okay for us over here for that. We do recommend using a higher heat spark plug in this one here. These ones typically they have on the code on here, so you can see right here. It just popped right off basically. These ones recommend, where's it at here? NGK BPM8Y. Let me show you that here right now. There's the tag they have on right there, NGK BPM8Y. We personally over here, we use BPMR4, I should say BPR, it's BPR, I mean it's BPMR4A, sorry about that. I keep on getting them screwed up because we put a lot of Honda machines. They have the NGK BPR4 or BPR4ESs, and I get them confused sometimes. I apologize for that. So we recommend using the number 4 heat range on these ones because these things, unfortunately, they're cold-blooded out there for that, and they do take a little bit to heat up over there, and that's why I recommend using a higher heat range one for your spark plug. And also it keeps the engine cleaner as well too because it's burning a little bit hotter out there for that, so it'll warm up faster, and it'll also burn cleaner out there as well too. So that's one tip I do recommend about these Echo machines because of that nature of the machine here. Cleaned out the exhaust port, new spark plug, new carb assembly. This is with the new carb on there, brand new one. These carbs are about, I think about $28-30 on eBay, because I buy a lot of stuff on eBay, guys, and it's always a good idea to buy them on eBay because you can get a pretty good price out there for that. Plus, it's shipping the shipping's normally about 3 business days if I order stuff on eBay from one of my reputable sellers, because I always ask the seller whenever I'm purchasing stuff on there to ship it out ASAP. So I personally order most of my stuff early in the morning between like 9 and 10 o'clock. So when the order is accepted by the person selling stuff on eBay, they'll get a notice, and hopefully they'll ship the same day for your order because you asked them to ship it out real quick. And we also had to rebuild the fuel system on here as well too. Got the rebuild kit here for the fuel system on here. So you got all new fuel lines on here. This one, it had the Echo rebuild or repower kit as they call it on here for that. Get brand new fuel lines, 1, 2, and you get the third one here for the where's it at here? The vent here's the vent line right here as well too. So we got all new fuel lines on here plus a vent line as well too. So everything looks good on there for that, no problem. Air filter was okay. We didn't have to do anything with the air filter. We did reuse the old call adjustment, call it adjustment. I don't know what you call it, like a wing nut or something, but we just reuse the old one on here because the new carbs include this new piece right here for that. But I had no real need to take it off and replace it on there for that. But you can use the brand new one they have on the machine. So that's everything about that. Here's the front of the machine as well too. Good old SRM 210 machine. It's your good old SRM. This is the older color schematic model here. I don't know how old this machine is, but I'm thinking it's probably maybe between 15 and 20 years old. I honestly don't know, but that's my possible age of this machine right here for that. So we'll go ahead and show you the carb parts and stuff like that over here. We also had to replace the bump head down there as well too because the bump head was not spinning. The customer was not forthcoming about that fact. So I had a bump head sitting over here in stock over here for one of my other jobs we were working on before. The customer didn't want it done, so we had to replace this whole bump head assembly down here because this one right here, for whatever reason, it felt like the thing was wobbling back and forth down here for that because we could see the actual bump head going, like just wobbling down there. So I think there's something wrong with the bearings inside this thing right here, and this thing's extremely tight turn over here. It's just a really hard turn over here. So it looks like it might have been damaged somehow, some way, and I'm thinking it might be a little bit galling down inside here as well too, possibly. So we did have to replace the bump head on this one right here. All you do is just take them off, and then you just swap them out. It only takes about maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do that. You just take 1, 2, and your centering bolt right here as well too, and you just slide the whole thing off, and you put the new one on it as well too. So that's a new one right there. We had in stock over here from another job the customer didn't want done, so I slapped it on free of charge, because we honestly didn't know how the machine was going to function until we started up over here. This job was sitting for at least 5 years in a guy's storage, I guess. Because the whole thing had cobwebs all over the whole entire machine. So we had to replace that, and the bump head down here as well too. And here's what the bump head looks like inside this. They have a little cap down inside here as well too. So we replaced the bolts and stuff like that as well too. So there's all the parts, 1, 2, and 3. You know, taking apart on the machine right there for that, and involving the new bump head, or I should say, good used condition one, I should say more precisely. So here's all the parts we took off the engine on here as well too. Got your carb, intake gasket, spark plug. Get that out of here. The fuel filter, you can take them apart and clean them out and put them back together. So there's no reason to replace the fuel filter unless it's severely damaged out there for that. So there's a carb. Get that out of the way here. Here's your intake gasket as well too. Here's the old one. Old one had some, you know, it was like splitting on the one side, I think, over here, and I did not want to risk putting the old one back on there for that. So here's the old spark plug. I think the guy had the original spark plug in here as well too. It's BPM8Y. Looks like I think it was never changed, and or it's all black and carboned up on it for that. So change that up. Change the carb out here. There's the old carb. This carb did not want to pump up right at all. It would not suck up any gas from the line. Your primary line for the fuel filter right here is the longer one, as you see right here. This is your fuel filter line right here. This one goes to the one side of the carb if you're looking at it from the one side. So if you're looking at it from the top where the primer bulb is, the fuel filter line is right here on the left hand side, if you're holding it the same way I'm holding it right now. So the black one goes to the left, and the right one right here is your return fuel line, and the third orifice or hole right here for your called the tanks grommet right here, that's for your atmospheric ventilation tube right there as well too. So that's everything we did to the machine for that. We'll go ahead and fire it up here for you so you can see it running. Place parts over here by themselves. Okay, as I said before, the fuel filters, you can take them apart, clean them out, and put them back together. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you. So let me put my camera down here real quick, and I'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you guys. So bear with me here for a couple seconds. Make sure it's on, up all the way. So let me put my camera down here real quick. Okay, got it fired up here, popping one pull basically. So we'll go ahead and gun it up here and see how it runs. So made this thing out in the light out here better. Sorry about that. It's almost like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's getting kind of long out here for the stuff. So bring this thing over here. Go ahead and gun it up here. This one actually runs better than some of the newer models out there for that. The engine has about 115, 120 PSI in the engine, so it's still mechanically sound, even though we did have to clean off the exhaust port down inside there. He had some carbon buildup in the exhaust side, so we did clean it out. Go to the other side over here. I'm going to fire up again here for you. Get this thing situated. Hold on here. Okay, go ahead and gun it up here again. Carb's working great. The linkage is perfectly fine on the top right there. You see it? You have max power all the way to the end. This thing right here, you need a wrench to adjust this. This will adjust your max power setting right here for that, so you can adjust this in and out. And over here is your idle. You can adjust that as well too. You can adjust this If you turn it in, it'll adjust the speed high. If you turn it out, it'll bring it down to a lower setting right there for that. So we'll go ahead and gun it up here again. You see the head spinning down the bump head. Bump head spinning fine. We did put some grease down the bump head down there for reference. So it's spinning fine. There's no weird noise coming from the bump head at all. So it feels good to go. I'm going to gun up here again for you. And it's ready to go back to customer as it is right now. So we'll go ahead and shut it off here. Turn it off. There you go. Good to go. So that's everything about the SRM 210 here. We finally got the parts in for them, as I said before, and we had some time to put together over here. It took about probably about 30-35 minutes to put everything on the machine. The only thing that took longer on here was trying to get the grommet. These grommets down here and the fuel tank down inside, they can be a real pain in the butt to get the grommets down into the tank correctly in here for that, because I recommend putting some grease on the grommet area right down here, and you can get that thing on or better. Besides, we use like a small screwdriver and try to push down on a grommet around the outside lip of the grommet so it goes down on the fuel tank correctly. So put some lube on the grommet and slide it down onto the tank lid right there for that, so it fits nice and smoothly, and you don't have to have any kind of splits or tears or anything else like that for that. So that's everything about the Echo machine. Like I said before, we had to replace the bump head down here. Unfortunately, the customer was not forthcoming about the fact that the bump head was not functioning correctly, and we had no idea honestly about how the machine was going to function until we actually had it started over here, and we told that customer up front, because we had to be totally honest and transparent about how we operate, because we honestly don't know how machine's going to function until you get the thing started. And unfortunately, sometimes you do have to replace additional parts like the whole bump head assembly on a machine, so that's what we had to do extra work right there for that. There's your other piece. And this thing was wobbling around the bottom of the shaft right there for that, and it would not, basically what happened is anytime you gun the machine up over here, it kept on jamming like there was something binding up down the housing down here for that. So it's a better idea to replace the whole thing and call it a day. So that's part of what we did right there for that, and the carb assembly. And that's everything we had. Let me see the bolts and the other piece right there for the intake gasket and a spark plug. So that's everything about the good old Echo older generation great color schematic SRM 210 machine. If anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about that machine here, feel free to drop me a message, and I'll try to get back to you within probably within 24 48 hours about some basic help or troubleshooting regarding this machine here for that, guys. So that's everything about it, and we'll see it, and have a nice day.